good evening. Well, good afternoon. It's a wonderful day, and we are blessed to be here. We are so blessed to be here. This is the Mother's Board Inc. with Dr. J.J. McCollister and Miss Shirley Polk. And we are happy to be here with you. Dr. Mac?
Well, good evening, everyone. And if you will join me in a quiet prayer, Lord, we thank you for all that is with us today. And we ask that you open the hearts and the minds and the souls of those persons who are in warfare, who are striving in our boundaries of the United States, and who are in other places of the world fighting natural disasters and trying to understand what is going on. We ask that what we say or do here today opens the ears and the hearts and just ask for a bit of wisdom. You don't have to agree with us, but we do want you to think about what we're saying. And if you disagree, that's also growth. As a result of all of this, we ask for spiritual growth in our belief system and our love for our fellow man. These and the many blessings I ask in our Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Wonderful prayer. We're off to a wonderful start. So we have some great topics here today, and I am so grateful for these topics. And I'm pulling them up here. So what did I do? Okay, there we go. So we will start. Number one, that's fantastic, and I hear an echo on my end over here. So I don't know why I hear that, but I do. So have you had a chance? Oh, this is what. Have you had a chance to have the new 800 plus laws that were passed during Texas' third legislative session? And of course, we know they had three because they had two special sessions, the 89th legislative session. And so, if so, what are some that stood out for you and your thoughts on them? Well, for me, uh, I love one of them, which tells, well, I haven't read all 800 of them. I haven't gotten to that. I'm on the page now. I have the page pulled up. But because they said there were over 1,000 laws passed, and they said there were 8,000 and something that were filed.
Mm-hmm.
So there are so many laws, and so I'm going to try my best to read all of them. I've started, but I haven't. But one I like, and I mentioned this before, because we had the same thing question discussion point here, is I like the one where it says that there are three countries that cannot buy land here in Texas. Those foreign countries that cannot buy land here in Texas. And I also like, and I know we're going to get down into it, the part where they have said, and I think they mandated some money to improve the security. What is it? The warning system for the areas with those camps in them that are flood prone.
Yes.
And then I also like there's something about the school. There were some things that I really was intending to remember, but I don't remember that. But there are some, and I know there'll be some more that I agree with. But there was so many of them, and I'm thinking, how in the world people the ones that are making the laws, they don't obey all the laws. And how will any of us ever be able to know all of these laws and abide by them if we don't know what they are? And they go through the process, and you know how many of them, and they don't read their own uh, files and work and stuff. Like they have helpers, assistants that read all of and
Yes.
found
Yes.
all of this for them. So it's just something, but there's some good in there. There's some good in there that I like what uh, Governor Abbott he did work on, and then the one about I think he veto again, or they didn't get to pass the um, about I don't know the acronym. Is it HTC? Whatever.
Oh, TCH.
Yes,
Yeah,
they didn't get to uh, do anything about that yet. And of
no,
course, I believe he's going to veto it again. And that's a good thing because if it's medicine for the people and it has no or less side effects, we need it. We need it. And it's no different. As a matter of fact, it's better than the barbiturates and all of those heavy, harsh drugs that people get addicted to.
yeah,
So there are three things right there. And then, so anyway, that'll be all I can
yeah.
think to talk about right now.
Those are exciting. I actually focus on the one that you were talking about, the THC, and I said to myself, okay, they didn't reach agreement on it to to pass it, nor to regulate it, or to put an age limit on it. You know, uh, but when you look at the number of people who are employed in that industry, and the fact that you had the veterans group really stand up and say, wait a minute, we'd rather take that than a chemically based product, you know. And I think, well, we know that the governor is running for something, and I don't think it's to be governor again. Um, so I think he just ought to straddle the fence. Now, I haven't had a chance to read all 813 of those laws. And my problem, well, it's not a problem. You're right. There are aides who read for the representatives and the senators. And when you have that many laws, you're not sure what's a law and what's not. Um, but I do appreciate the local media who says, okay, X number of laws went into effect today, and these are the ones that you need to focus on, the bigger ones. But it's sometimes those smaller laws that don't get the attention that actually wind up causing us the problems. And we don't have another session until 2027 unless he calls a special session. And I don't think he will unless there's another request from a higher governmental agency.
He's definitely using all of that leeway he has. And but anyway, there was some, and then some of, like you said, how in the world can they get to all those laws? And those are the kind they pull out the hat when something happens that they don't like.
Right. They
Uh-huh.
either go to some unknown law or some law that was passed, as is the case. Not that I agree with this pastor at Gateway, who had to go to court yesterday in Oklahoma for 100-year-old law. 100-year-old law.
Yep.
Or the fact that when we were, when the campaign was going on, we're looking at laws from 1867, 1876. I don't, at some point, we're trying to survive from day to day, but I don't really think we need to go back and pull those laws, um, because there was a reason for them, but there's probably a timeout right now for them.
Yes.
What constitutes an emergency? What constitutes a crisis? And I guess it does differ from person to person.
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me now? You can hear me?
Oh yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I plugged my mic and everything back up, so I have it working like it should now. And so yes, and like we're saying, there's so many of those laws, they don't know what they are themselves.
No,
I doubt if they ever open up the book or the file and ever read through those laws. And just like when they did one, and the people in one of the states was on their representative, he said, "I didn't know it was in there." Oh, talking about
yes, I remember that. I,
what do they call that bill? I don't like to say the name of it,
the,
but the 2020.
oh yeah, I know the big
Uh-huh.
ugly bill. Yeah.
And so anyway, but there's so many things going on. But I'm doing well. I'm staying positive because I know this too shall pass.
Yeah,
And
I
then
know.
and
Same thing.
they pass, and many times they pass bills that are in their favor, that can help them if they ever need them. But then this thing turns around, and so Hey, was that what goes around comes around? That was another one that I was thinking about earlier, but I couldn't think of it. So, like I said the other day, go ahead and pass these things. Go ahead and do this stuff because it's coming back around. Oh, yes, it is. So, Dr. Rex, so do we want to go on to the next?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And talking the game. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Last night I had it on one television. I was listening and I'd look over there just but I kept up with the score because they hung in there and
Yes.
Dallas should have won that game. They didn't win it, so we'll go to the next one. And then what they call the gate, I don't want to say the first word. That was, I mean, whoa, Nelly.
when it was first 6 seconds of the game, we get to start
Yes.
with spit game. Some of the sports
Yes.
reporters are calling it.
I tell
But
you.
I'm sitting there looking at it and thinking to myself, that wouldn't spit on you. He really wouldn't spit on you. I mean, it's not what he would do. Now, he does spit
No.
a lot, but anyone who says that's not true, go back and look at the film. He been spitting since he been in the league and when he was in college, you
You
know?
think he got a chaw in his jaw?
Well, I don't know. He's from Hope, Louisiana.
Oh,
And I know
he is.
they
So
do a
he,
lot of chowing down there.
no wonder
But
he got a chaw in his jaw.
no, he's a spitter. but
Yeah,
but the
and
thing,
that was just like something you would see in the classroom or on the playground.
well, they call it childish behavior. But there are certain things we pick up as kids that stay with us. You can't put your finger in my face. You can't call me some basic words. You know,
Oh my
and
goodness.
and I spit on me.
I wonder if he thought, well, why did I do that?
Well, I, the thing that I liked most, and I looked at it again this morning, uh, is that whole line stayed there on the field with him. And I said, okay, you
Mhm.
guys been preaching about unity and protecting the quarterback. You're standing here and you're doing it. Because they know he spits all the time. It drives me crazy, but that's something he's been doing for a long time.
But I guess the man was in that mode of what competition mode, and so
Yeah,
he got the
you're
best of
already hyped up, so it doesn't take
him.
anything to get you going.
Yep.
You can look at me wrong, and I'm ready to
And I
go.
think the weather was gloomy too, and that has something to do with your mood.
Yes,
So
the
much.
weather definitely. I think the weather played a major role in the second half. I
Oh
mean, you
yeah.
had a very long
It,
period there, but I understand the lightning and all that.
oh yes.
But just think about it. If you were performing and you had that long period, it would change things for you. No excuses because I'm not making any. They played a great first half. They did,
Yeah.
and all we can do. And I like what Schottenheimer said. We should have won, but we're gonna go on.
Yeah.
You got another game next week.
And work on the next one. Oh yes.
If you
Time for
concentrate on this loss, you won't be ready for the next game. But they did, and I'm not. There were things that could have been done differently, but it's the first game of the season, and
and
even if it were the last game of the season, they actually played.
they hung in there, didn't they?
They
They
played.
hung in there. And then I looked and I said, because it was 2024, and then here and it had 2 minutes on my phone.
Uh-huh.
And so then about 10 minutes later, I looked again and the man said about 4 minutes and something. I'm thinking, what happened? I didn't know that the rain until after uh,
Yeah,
the
they
game.
can.
They told me it got held up. Because I'm
Yeah,
saying, wow,
yeah.
it should have been finished by now. But at least the Cowboys have another chance to. They did really well and they have potential.
Yeah,
And they can come on out of this slump they're in. They
and
certainly can.
I actually think they want to win this year. Not
Yeah.
not the owner and general manager. And it's not that. It's for personal pride at this point. A
Right.
lot a lot of things, little things are coming out about Michael Parsons, which I don't believe. Um, But you know, just they have to want it for themselves. That's the only way you're gonna, you know that yourself. You played on and worked in team sports. It has to be a personal goal for you,
Yeah,
not for the check.
and I don't know what the deal was, but anyway, I'm hoping that they're perking up because they have potential. They have just as much chance as anybody else
Hmm.
to go all the way and win that Super Bowl. So I'm still rooting for them. If
Yeah,
they
me too.
if they don't go, I'm still going to root for the Cowboys.
As long as they're not playing the New Orleans Saints,
Right
that's
on.
what that's what the loyalty divides.
All right. All right. No, number one, Maxine Waters, representative from California since 1991, has called for the use of the 25th Amendment to find out what's wrong with current president, well, resident of the White House. What is your reaction to this proposal? Now, is it yours?
Okay. Well, Miss Waters is saying it's time to start talking impeachment. You know, and I know a lot of people, especially those in Congress, who are going to say don't do it because we weren't able to do it twice before. But she's saying this has gone on long enough. Now, keep in mind, she is not always a champion. You know what I'm saying? But she, she's basically fed up. And it was the governor Lisa Cook's uh, firing that really got her going. Because
Mhm.
you're going to say mortgage fraud, and then you came back and you used the Senate, person, mortgage fraud, Atila James, mortgage fraud. So you now have a new little catch-all phrase. At least you're not saying it's a witch hunt. Thank God
Mhm.
for that.
Mhm.
But that's what Waters is saying. Now, granted, look at the number of years she's been there. She's seen a lot, done a lot. Probably shouldn't have done some stuff, but you know, we need to at least start saying it out loud because everyone's thinking it, but no one wants to say it out loud because they wouldn't get it through the house. They
What is
would.
it that? What's that? Quote. Everybody knows when someone's talking. Something like
Mhm,
everyone
mhm,
knows, and then we'll get down to the Robert F. Kennedy thing here later. But those people, we're going to get to it. But anyway, that 25th Amendment is especially there just for if the president becomes incapacitated or if there's something going on that's not right with him, then the vice president, it gives Congress the power through the Constitution to put the vice president in that place.
mhm,
That's what that 25th Amendment is all about, to replace
mhm.
if he's incompetent or there's something else going on. So yeah, I understand what she's saying. It's time to replace him, but like you're saying,
Not gonna happen.
yeah, it's time to replace him. So we don't know because coming to this next one, um, the proposal is all right with me. It's all right with me. But then I have many times there's that thing of take a look at yourself. You will look at others differently. So if I were, God forbid, in that spot right now where he is, how would I feel? But anyway, we know that something, a change is coming, and it's got to come. A forceful change has to come. And hey, either way, when it comes, it's going to be sealed. Anything else on that, Dr. Mack?
No, just
Okay.
just the, just the fact that we have someone who said out loud what others are thinking, and
Right.
others, and they are afraid to act.
Right.
And that is a problem now that I know God will send a solution to. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'm not saying the Archangel Gabriel is waiting, you know,
But
but
there
it's
is a remedy. There always is,
yeah.
and it's coming. But like I've said before, we're all involved in this, and somebody needs to learn a lesson. That's how we're going through this, to remind us of some things. And I really believe that, and I do believe that we're coming out of it too, like you said, and when we come out, people will be happy, 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 and then go like Israel. You know how Israel did over and over
Yes,
again. God would pull them out after He said, "Well, I'm gonna punish you if
yeah,
you repent." And then after a while, they repent, and then after a while, they get on. He'll not do what He punished, and then go back into the same thing. The same thing with mankind here now. It's
yeah.
just something. There has to be something done. There's a lesson that we need to learn in this. So, what was your initial reaction to the U.S. military strike against the alleged drug vessel from Venezuela, the Caribbean Sea, where in the Caribbean Sea, where 11 persons were killed? Now, when I read the question this morning, that was the first I'd heard of it. But and then, of course, I delved into it and did some research on it, researched in it, and they're saying that Venezuela is saying well, it didn't happen, but then they say this administration is saying that it did happen, and then there's no evidence from the information that I got that it was, if it happened, a drug vessel, carrying drugs. So what is yours on that? Did you dig a little deeper?
Well, I did watch that grainy black and white video, that
Mm-hmm.
they did show from the White House, and here's another one of those sources, just like the strike in Iran, where apparently he had knowledge, but others didn't have knowledge that this was a drug vessel carrying, um, all kinds of, well, gang members, as well as, um, what's the name of um, the drug that he's trying to keep out of the United States. But he has an issue right now with the president, well, with this guy who is saying he wants to take over the regime in Venezuela. Now, but he meaning the person, the commander in chief, he'd already sent down, this armada of American boats. And if you look at that video, it's just, it just goes up very quickly. But if you killed everybody, how do you know? I mean, if they do you understand what I'm saying? If
Mm-hmm.
they the exploded them, and unless you got the bodies back and they had gang tattoos or something, how do you know?
And
You
that's
know?
and that's what the Venezuelan uh, president is saying too. He said, but propaganda is all over the place. Even here, they feed that stuff, call themselves feeding that stuff to us from the inside.
Right.
So, and we have no way really, unless we were actually there, or we know somebody that's totally involved personally, and they tell us, we don't know whether this happened or not, and where the video came from or whatever.
And here we have people in his cabinet trying to defend the move, but the move should have been defended before these naval ships and the drones and the people in Venezuela. This guy is saying, "Hey, you just want a change in regime. You want somebody in this office, in this political office, who's going to be favorable to you." But I thought they were relatively decent people. You know what I'm saying? Didn't he just have someone there from Venezuela a few months ago in the
Yeah,
White House?
but
Yeah,
these people are just as decent as we are. You know what I'm saying? And no different. And so,
no,
but the
he's a bad
superiority
guy.
complex
Yeah,
is
they're
hitting them.
saying he's a bad guy for sure. That the
Huh?
president himself is a bad guy.
Who's the bad guy?
The president of Venezuela,
Okay,
the one they say who wants to be president, not really elected, but is trying to overthrow. It's
okay.
political. All of it's political. You
Sounds
know,
familiar to me.
there's people, many of the persons who came in through the border illegally, and notice who the first one among the first groups he sent back were the Venezuelans. He's in the back. So, it just, to me, I'm not, he has an ultimate goal and it will be revealed in time.
Well, it's
And,
already revealed. He wants to rule the world. He wants people to be afraid of him. He wants to call all the shots. And if people don't agree or go by the plan that he wants them to go by, he wants to destroy them and stop them. And so, when they looking down and talking about the character of one person, like I said, take a look at yourself,
yeah.
because how can what is the thing in the pot called the kettle black? Is that what it is? Uh-huh. Yeah. So
Unreal.
the same old here. And that's what it is. Uh, there's so much to this, and
Much more than you see.
yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
People are accepting all of this stuff, and they know for a fact through our records, through our media, through everything that over here, the person that's calling all these shots and trying to start all these wars, inward and outward, that person is a bona fide, convicted felon. And
Yeah.
then you're trying to police everybody else and they're saying that everybody else is bad.
No, no,
But
you,
but the man that's 44, what is it, felony counts?
yeah. Yeah.
So,
I,
it's just amazing because so many people are so judgmental about other people, and just like they, just put loose and fancy free and have never done a bad thing in their life, and the record shows it. So,
yeah.
it's just something, and we can only go by what they tell us because, of course, the propaganda against the different countries and everything, everybody seems to be against us or whatever. Not everybody, but however they feed it to us, they expect us to act according to that.
And we're being fed every day,
Yes, we are.
every because something happens every day that make you go, "Whoa, did that
Yes,
just happen? Did they
yes,
really say that?" Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
But again, these are those things that you're not saying will cease. But we
Oh,
have to get to that point. We have to believe first that we've got an almighty, an omniscient God who's looking down. He sees all this mess. And at some point, it stops. It will stop.
well, Ukraine and Russia, they're supposed to have been stopped in 10 days' time, right?
Right.
Oh, okay. How many months has it been now? 8, 9?
Well, this won't be a war that he can say he stopped because he didn't stop any of the others either.
Well, of course, talking out of both sides. Anyway, here we go. It seems that caps, and you know what I'm saying, the big caps with the 4 letters on them. House of Cards is beginning, and that I put that's he's. I was speaking that, dictating it. Okay, I'll start again. It seems that the House of Cards is beginning to tumble. What are some things you noticed this week about the national crisis? So I don't know what I'm supposed to answer yet. Is it me or you?
I
Me?
believe it's you this time.
Okay, thank you for keeping up with it. Okay, I'm looking and thinking now about what's happening with the the questioning of Robert Kennedy
Oh,
Jr. and the way that it. I don't know whether they're finishing now because I haven't sought to look at uh, any of it today, but it is just really pitiful what's going on. And even those senators that put the lady in there in a position, confirmed her, they're saying now we just confirmed her a month ago, and you
less
just
than a
said
month. She didn't
she
make a month.
said
She
again,
wasn't there a month.
said
3 weeks.
again. Go ahead.
No, I was just smiling and saying she didn't quite make that month. You're giving her some credit she didn't get.
And then they're saying that they're saying like, hey, the gist of it is you wasted our time. Now you were talking highly favorable about her and we confirmed her and all of that. And now you're saying she's a liar
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous. That house is tumbling. House of cards. It's tumbling. Oh yes, it is. That's my take on that. It's just because two sides. Whatever side fits at the time, that's the side that's favorable in their sight.
He was one of the questions that came up after he visited, his congressional hearing, RF
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy Jr.
Mm-hmm.
It was he still being supported by the commander in chief? And yeah, yes, he is.
And
But
he
what
said,
it is it bothers me because you're putting lives at risk. You know, we've already had the Secretary of Health in Florida take away all vaccines now, and he even took away the ones that you have to have in order to go to school, especially elementary school. So you're gonna have all these little people with all their little germs floating around. You're gonna teachers who are gonna be out. I'm telling you right now,
yeah,
teachers and other staff gonna be out because the message we're getting is don't believe the CDC, don't believe the FDA, don't believe in vaccine mandate. Just try to live through it. That is, I mean, come on, we can't do that. Um, we had the greatest measles outbreak that we've had in a number of years. And the fear is that some of the things that we had gotten rid of, or didn't have to deal with, are coming back.
coming back.
They're seeing cases of polio. They're seeing cases of tuberculosis. These things are not supposed to be. We've got the red and the what is the red and the black measles. These are not things. I mean, they shouldn't be occurring. But if you don't have vaccinations of some kind going on, then what do we do with COVID? You know,
That's
whether
one
you
of the
believe
questions
it.
we have to him now. How did we get through that? We did, by the vaccines.
So I don't know, Pastor
They said
Shirley.
that yesterday.
Okay, I'm just saying something, if you have someone who doesn't believe in science, and I think God gave scientists, God created scientists. Come on,
That's
let's
right.
remember that.
That's
And He
exactly
created
right.
them for the purpose of keeping people healthy. I'm not saying buy everything. I
Hmm.
remember you did the piece about the clogged liver, uh, CLOGGED liver. And then I saw a piece on the news about taking all these advertising things for liver, which were is killing people because they're not being monitored. The pharmaceutical companies are making money. You know, I Pastor Shirley, I don't know. I just know if God hadn't wanted the scientists here, and not that scientists do good things. They did the atomic bomb and all that, but they do things to keep us living from day to day.
Right. The thing is, the whole thing about all of these people that have been chosen for that administration and those unqualified people, all those people, it's favoritism. Money talks. Money talks. And I was looking at this yesterday because I asked a question. Uh, how much money? Remember before he got the job, he said he wanted to be. You remember Robert F. Kennedy? He made it
Yes,
plain. I want to be
yes,
here. I want to. And so he gave up the run for the presidency, but the guy that was his top aide, I guess, in his campaign, Robert F. Kennedy didn't directly donate $5 million to the Trump campaign, but the guy that was with him named Mellon, M-L-L-E-N, that was with Robert Kennedy when Robert Kennedy was running and when he gave it up, that guy donated $5 million to Trump's campaign.
wow, money
Yeah,
talks.
that's what I found in researching. And
Yeah,
so, yeah. So that's what happened because he said I want to be this, I want to be that. No experience whatsoever. But anyway, it's for a reason. Remember, there's a time and a season for everything. We know all about that, you know. And things happen for a reason. And sometimes we might not understand and might not even find out why it happened. But many people will see the results of it when it ends. And so it's just something, and I think just thank God that we can be calm, cool, and collect, and we can discuss these things because people really need to pay attention to all of
Yes.
this,
Yes.
and not be frantic, not be nervous and fingernail biting and all this. This would just be aware of what's going on so that we can be ready if we have to take some kind of what is it, action
Right.
for
I
protection.
agree. I agree.
So yes, ma'am. So, what was your initial? Did you get to talk on that?
Yes, I did. I did. I did too. Because I'm saying just because you asked for the job, you're not qualified for the job. You
Right,
know,
and
and
that's
just
what
because
a lot
you
of
have money does not mean that you are willing to take a crash course in it and learn.
But like they say, money talks. So, what was your initial reaction to the U.S. military strike? Oh, we did that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you? We talked about the camps, right?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, oh, the safety policies at the state fair. Uh, mo- uh, New safety policies, which ones do you think would be most difficult to enforce ahead of the state fair of Texas's opening day? Officials announced a few changes for fairgoers, and those changes are starting this year. The state fair will implement a clear bag policy, and I think that's good. Well, it's I'm just going to read them and say you come here.
No, no, no. I agree with you.
Uh-huh.
If you have to have, let's just be honest. If you have to have it in the schools, and they have gone through a clear backpack policy, why
Right.
wouldn't you have it out there with thousands and thousands of people?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they have that. They've had it for years at
Yes.
Cowboy Stadium. What's the
Okay.
at the Cowboy Stadium? Because I remember the time that I went there, I couldn't take my purse in there because it wasn't clear. So that's one of the things I feel like it's good. And in addition to clear bag policy, there's also a new See Something, Say Something program for fairgoers to send tips to officials about safety issues, and
Hmm.
hopefully, it won't, it will all be in order, and people will be considerate of each other, and they will really, before they turn somebody in for something, they think that they will know for sure that it might be a situation that needs to be reported. There's always that chance that,
Yes.
yeah, that chance that somebody's going to falsely report somebody. So, did you already talk? Oh, I'm just running.
Okay.
Program for fair goods. Okay, Arthur, or is it Cother, said the same enhanced safety protocols will be in place as last year, including weapons detection, uh, technology to screen guests at entry. New to the fair last year was a weapons ban, which also remains in place this year with an exception for peace officers. I think that is good.
Yeah, I think all of these, the ones that they have down there, you're gonna get swiped in, you're gonna get swiped, swiped out, and there will be drones flying above. I mean, you just know this is Dallas, and they're gonna try to do what they can do to keep
Yeah.
people safe. They're not gonna let you in early. You used to be able to go in a little bit early. They open at
Mhm.
10. You can't do that anymore.
Mm-mm.
The kids can't come in by themselves. There needs to be an adult. I never have understood that.
Me either.
letting letting your kids just dropping them off and letting them go in. No,
Especially young ones.
yeah, and I don't care how responsible a 13 or 14-year-old is. You're supposed to watch your 6 or 7-year-old brother. You are going to get caught up in the lights and the sounds
Right.
and the movement, and you're going to forget that little rascal who's going to go out of your sight. He's going to do it. He'll be over in the livestock section, and you
Something.
over on the midway. So
Because it can happen quite fast.
it's just his nature. He's curious, just
Yes,
like you.
ma'am.
But I think all of them is I think everybody's aware of the clear backpacks, I would hope, and
Mm-hmm.
the no carry, even if you're licensed,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because we don't want anybody to get mad at anybody else. And I'm thinking about the law you talked about last week, where you were at a public gathering and someone said something, that's offensive, and report it.
That's the football.
We don't
That's the
live in the same world.
football games and all the extracurricular activity for the schools.
Yes,
All
yes,
you have to do, they don't have to investigate it. Somebody can just say, she cussed me out, and they just come and throw you out, and you might not
yes,
have said a word.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those get even situations.
Or I just don't like her because or him because they're over here and they're rooting for the other side, or my child stepped on that toe and they looked at my child crazy,
But
that kind of stuff.
yeah, it's one of
Hmm.
those things. But I
Hmm.
appreciate the city council for and the state fair of Texas people for trying to make it as safe as possible.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want my turkey leg, my
Oh yes.
my candied apple, and my bowl of nachos.
Oh yes, and don't
And have
forget
a great halftime
the other
performance
one,
and a
uh,
great halftime from both schools.
the
So,
sweet, what is it? Cake, funnel cake.
yeah.
I like
Okay.
that.
Well, they're good too. You see,
Oh
I
yeah.
know they eat. Obviously, you can hear it.
And like I'm like you, I appreciate them doing everything they can to protect us.
Yeah, I do.
And because that's the way of the world now. So much is happening all over the place, and we see it quite almost every week, more than once a week. And so I appreciate them doing everything they can. And we know that even though they're doing everything they can, something is yet going to happen. But it
Oh yeah.
won't be because they didn't put the rules in place. And they have also said that the code of conduct is right there before you go in. So
That's
if you're
true.
not clear about it, if you can read it just to make sure. And if you can't read, I'm saying
Ask
ask somebody
somebody.
to read. Yeah.
Ask somebody. What does
Yes,
this
ma'am.
really mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So I think they're doing everything they can, and this time requires all of that.
Yes.
So, do you agree with or disagree with the decision that was reached on Tuesday? The Dallas City Council voted in a 10-5 straw poll to support a budget amendment allocating about $386,000 to keep the Skillman Southwestern Library open an additional year. Well, okay, Dr. Mack.
Okay. That 386,000 dollars plus is ex COVID money. Well, COVID money that was given to connect the houses, and work on the water situation in South Dallas. And I'm gonna have to say, I disagree. I think you should go ahead and get those houses connected. There are certain areas in the southern sector that's having trouble with clean water, or just having, using bottled water.
Hmm.
I mean, I love libraries. I love to read, but just about everybody and his brother's got a phone now, you know, and everybody Googles or whatever they want to do.
Hmm.
But that water needs to be connected in areas that are outlying, or they're close to the city, but they're
Yes.
not in the city proper. And every year they talk about working, getting that water connected. Every year about making sure the water is safe to drink.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, let's just take care of the families, the house, the community.
Right. So, okay. So I didn't dig that deep off into it. I just searched some of this, and I didn't know they were taking away from one
Yes.
project to keep this library open. Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, they don't. They have their short library funds, and the city manager Talbot is aware of that, but she's the one that's saying that we can't keep moving this money for the libraries, you know. And
Wow.
then you go into some libraries, and except on Saturday when it's children's hour, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of people in there.
No, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and so you have here game day follow-ups. Game day follow-ups. So we already talked about the game day follow-ups, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Uh-huh. And so we talked about, so I think everything that we have to talk about, hey, and the time is, we, hey, we still have time left, but it's been a pleasure here today because we've covered everything, haven't we?
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to hear your reaction to the letter from the camp owners in Kerrville. There were three camp owners who who wrote letters to the members of the special session legislature,
Mm-hmm.
and I they 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 already have camps, and their thing was they are not opposing the safety thing, but they're saying financially it costs too much for
Right,
them to move the cabins away from the floodplain. And I'm going, well, wait, a child's life has no price.
right.
You're going to have, you're making money off of their presence, then you need to move to a higher ground.
Right, and no questions asked about that, and
Yeah.
about the finances. But I was thinking that didn't they allot some money to help them?
Yes, yes, they did, and I'm saying accept your money and move. Yeah, it's wonderful. I've only been like camping like on a river, but I'm sure for the kids there, it's exciting. There's nothing like trying to sleep and hear the flowing of the river. It's
Hmm.
very soothing when you're not thinking snakes are with the water, but just regular pleasure. But in
Right,
case you have another one of those 100-year flood situation, move it. You shouldn't put a cost on lives. Shouldn't put a cost on
right, right, and I totally agree with that. And so if they haven't a lot, because like you said, they've been making this money all these years, but like you said, and like the bill, what is that? The Heavens 27,
Yes,
Heavens 27, and I agree with them, and I thought they said that they allotted some money to help them uh, with these projects.
yes.
So I mean, do what you can, and hey, that's it. We just hope that they'll abide by it, and they'll keep an eye on them to make sure that we never know. We can't stop these things from happening, but they
No,
can take precautionary measures. Do what we can
yes.
to make sure that we're not at fault for anything like that.
I
So
love the word. I love the word you said reasonable. Do what you use the word reasonable. Be at least aware that you have the opportunity to make sure that it doesn't not the water, but the fact that the kids can get out. You,
right,
they're not asking for anything other than a warning system that can be heard, and the posting of the evacuation. And every kid needs to know that. I know you want to have fun, but what happens when something unexpected occurs? How
right,
are you supposed to react?
right. And then of course, so much about those sirens should have been in place all
Yes,
along.
yes,
So there's so much. So I hope that they can go ahead and work it out and work with the budget they have and do the things that need to be done. And at
yeah,
least they take the precautionary measures.
yeah. I like that precautionary.
Mm-hmm.
cautionary is what
Mm-hmm.
what I'm
Well, Dr. Mack, it's been wonderful. And you know, something I was thinking today, and I just thought about it. I just want to bring this up. And they were saying something about President Barack Obama today, and and it came to my mind. Has he even started on his library yet? And then, of course, I checked it out and searched it out. And do you know that he's going to have a digital library?
Yeah, we're supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to have the brick and mortar. This is going to be a digital, and it's supposed to be. They're supposed to set it up, and it should be up and ready to go in spring of 2026. I said
Wow.
that is awesome, and all this
It is.
library.
It is. And I love books, but I also understand that there's a whole generation that they don't know the feel of the paper, the sound of the paper, because they are so technology driven. And so we're going to have to make room for both of them, you
Yeah,
know, for the old geezers like me and for the younger ones who just want to tap, a key to get it done.
right.
So,
And I thought that was wonderful. I said, oh
yeah.
my goodness, I'll get to visit his library because I haven't been to, um, or President Clinton's and President Corning has one too, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yep. And who is the other one? Oh, President Bush. I haven't been in his.
Yeah. I used to go every year to the Lyndon May Johnson
Mm-hmm.
Library in Austin because it was an opportunity to get a couple of things done at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. Um and I keep reading these little nasty comments about President Obama's library. That's not even finished yet, but you got people making snide
Nasty
comments.
jealousy is as cool as the grave, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna have to, get past that because it's gonna be fantastic. And he's
Oh yes, it
already
is.
chosen what he wants to do, and he put it in the crime-ridden city of Chicago. I know family and friends in Chicago. They've been there for years,
And
you
still
know.
there.
And then there are there are sections that you shouldn't be in after certain times, just like anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you
That's
not
right.
to go.
Because when I went to Kentwood to visit my sisters, and then I took the children and we went to New Orleans.
Hmm.
And we were sightseeing, so I wanted to see the area, the different areas and where they were
Hmm.
building and everything. And a policeman, I stopped to ask a policeman for directions, and he told me he was very nice about it, but he said you should not be down here. You should not be down here. This is not the place for you because he knew I was from out of town.
Yeah.
Everything, and he did. He told me, and you know what I did?
What?
I got some yonder. Got
Yeah.
those children. We drove through and, found our way out, got out of there, and headed on back to Kentwood. Yes, ma'am. But he did. He told me that I shouldn't be there.
I appreciate policemen like that. They
Me
know their
too.
city and they
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
where you can and cannot go
Yes,
and should not be. I appreciate
exactly.
because there isn't a place. I was talking about Washington D.C. There's Washington D.C. and then there's a section. Well, there's another section
Hmm.
where there's always been an issue. And I'm thinking, you got your book hijacked or carjacked. Why were you over in that section? Because I know you've been there long enough to know not to be
And
there.
you know why people go to certain sections if they volunteer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Some
do.
people,
You
unless
went over there for the chicken wings. You didn't go over there for the hot sauce.
unless it's it's a what is it, city worker, somebody has to be over there for their job. But other
Yes.
than that, why? I'm like you, Dr. Mac.
All right.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Amen. Amen.
Dr. Mac, this is wonderful. I enjoy being here with you so
I
much.
I
And
did too.
you said Lyndon Johnson's library is in Austin.
I'm sorry.
Where did you say President Johnson's library is?
It's in Austin,
Okay,
Texas. Yeah,
okay.
it's in a, and I think you'd enjoy it. You know,
Well, when I go back
you
there,
won't be hurried or anything.
mhm.
And you won't have, what is it, 100 some kids with you.
Just get to go in there because you took your time and did what you wanted to do.
Oh, let them go through and look, and you go while they're eating. And then you can look and look and look and look. But yeah, it's there.
But
But
I am so excited, excited, and so excited about President Obama's. I'm so excited about our webcast, and it's growing. People are listening, and so I'm incognito. I'm thankful for that. And so,
I
anyway,
wouldn't.
we have other things to do. So, Dr. Mack, on Wednesday, we'll be looking forward to hearing some more about the biblical trials of Dr. Mack.
Well, I would like to invite everyone on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We're going to be looking into the book of Numbers, and this is our second series in Numbers. We're going to look at the biblical character of Miriam, and we're going to look at the biblical character Jethro.
Wow, wonderful. And God willing, tomorrow evening at 7:39, I think I'll be live tomorrow. But if not, I will let everyone know because I have something scheduled for tomorrow evening. And then on Sunday morning, God willing, at 7 a.m. is Greater Gospel Temple and Inspiration God Ministries. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays is Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk. And then this past Thursday, I talked about how the weather affects our mood and our emotions, the weather and how the color of the sun and all of that. So I'd invite everybody to go there and look at that. And so
Okay.
anyway, we love you, everybody, and everybody, please go and visit Dr. Mack if you haven't visited from the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack. It's Shirley Polk Davis, but you'll see the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack is right there, plain, plain, plain. All right, Dr. Mack, thank you so much. And God willing, we'll talk to everyone else. You have any words?
Okay.
Bless you, everybody. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you.
Bye bye.